Hi everybody. I think I'm live, except I don't see any comments or anything. Oops, what did I do? Oh. I think I'm live. I can't tell if anybody's on or I have no idea what that even says there. Shoot. I hope I didn't mess this one up. I think I got this. Let me just click over here and see if that I even did this right. Thanks for joining. If you're on the call, if you dialed in, okay, it looks like I'm live. Yes. Okay. So if you dialed in, I'm recording this. If you're on Facebook, hi. Okay, now I see. Hi, Diane. Today has been the best day ever. So I'm just going to start the call. I am Theresa Paul. I'm a Silver Executive Leader and a Rose Circle Seller with AVON Products. And tonight, it's Tuesday. What is it, Tuesday? Oh, it's the first day of spring. It's March 20th. However, we're expecting another snowstorm in New York tomorrow here. Insanity. Just what we need, more snow. We got more winter in March than we did all winter. So, if I can't see with these glasses and I'm trying, hi, Nita. I'm looking over here like trying to read this. I dropped my other glasses today. So I'm in the car and I'm like, go to pick up my phone and look at it, and I'm like, okay, why can't I see it? And I take the glasses off, and I go put them back on. I'm like, I still can't see. And I take the glasses off again. I'm like, maybe I need to clean them. And I realize there's not a lens. I had dropped the glasses, and the lens popped out. And I didn't realize that when I picked the glasses up and stuck them back in my pocket and got in the car. So that, and then, did y'all see what I did to my computer today? I spilled my coffee on it. A whole cup of coffee. Right on the laptop. A whole cup of coffee. Yeah, I didn't cry this time like I did when I dropped it down the stairs and busted it about 1.5 years ago. But when I went and bought a new computer, I made sure I got the extended warranty that covers spills and drops and everything else. So I had to take it up to Best Buy today, and the geeks are going to keep it for 2 weeks. So hopefully I'll get my computer back intact. Yeah, so if you like my mess around me, I got books on the table I was working on and a box over here, my meeting in a box that I didn't even unpack yet. So I was just working on a whole lot of things. Anyway, my drama. So we're going to talk more about fundraising because I did a little bit about fundraising 2 weeks ago. I thought all the new flyers were going to be up. I was excited. And then AVON did a fundraising webinar last week. And I wanted to go in a little bit more because I keep getting a lot of questions from everybody. Thank you, Lori. I wish I could say it was AVON, but it's not. However, we did have one really similar to this. I saw somebody the other day with a necklace on really similar to this. I said, is that AVON? She said, yes, it is. I said, oh, that looks almost like the one I have that's not AVON. But I really, really like it, and I wear it even though it's not. So now I got people messaging me here, popping it up. We can't do that. So I want to talk more about fundraising because I've been getting a lot of questions about fundraising, a lot of private messages and questions in the group and stuff. So I want to go into it a little bit more. I did a video about 1.5 years ago about getting the yes and about things to do and groups to find and everything else. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But I want to talk a little bit more about the fundraiser itself. And I keep getting a lot of questions on calculating the earnings and what do I put in presentation packets and things like that. So first, let me tell you this. Everything you need to know about AVON Fundraising is online at youravon.com. Everything is there besides the flyers. If you start clicking through, there's like segments 1, 2, 3, and 4. Finding the organization, finding their why, like, you know, contacting the groups and everything else. And in the one thing that I noticed is there's also a resource link. But in the resources, you're not going to find these earnings charts. The earnings are, and I opened this up so I could tell you. Okay, so first of all the fundraising stuff at youravon.com, if you don't already know, it's in the Earnings Opportunities tab. Click on Fundraising, Benefits of Fundraising. There's 4 steps. Finding an organization, choosing your programs, registering your fundraiser, managing your fundraiser. Then there's the resources and the FAQs. Tons and tons of information in there. And believe it or not, just about everything I've been telling you guys is the same stuff that's in there. It's the same thing that you're going to read there. So I know sometimes it's a lot of information and you get overwhelmed and you're like, can you break it down for me? Can you give it to me in a nutshell? Yeah, that's what I try to do. So if you click on the step 1, finding the organization, and then in there, that's broken down, determining the organization needs. And in the topics to cover, their earnings potential, that's where you're going to find the earnings charts, the earnings opportunity charts. And I'm going to go over this just a little bit because that's been kind of a lot of questions. And AVON did their fundraising webinar last week, and it was a little confusing because the charts that she presented on the fundraiser is not exactly these charts that you're going to find in youravon.com. When we do a fundraiser, I've seen 2 different things. I've seen reps say that, tell the group, you're going to get 40% of the profits. And then there's, you're going to earn 40% of what you sell. Those are 2 completely different animals. 40% of the profits and 40% of what you sell are 2 completely different things. And these earnings charts here are based on the percentage of sales. There's one for 30, 35, and 40%. And it's 40% based on what they sell. But on the webinar the other night, it was 40% and 35% of the profits. Now let me just tell you this. While that looks good and you're keeping more money in your pocket, the group is getting less money. And I've done fundraising for years with the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts. I was the committee chairman. I ran the pack, my husband and I. My kids went to Catholic school. Let me tell you, when you go to Catholic school, you learn anything and everything there is to know about fundraising because that's what they do. So doing a fundraiser, if they do fundraisers and selling candy and selling wrapping paper and stuff, a lot of the professional fundraising organizations are giving these groups and these schools up to 50% earnings of what they sell. So if we're telling a group that they're only going to get 30% or 30% of the profits, they're really not getting a lot of money. They could go sell candy bars and wrapping paper and make more. We want this to be profitable for the organization that we're working with. Yes, we want to make a little bit of money too, but what we want to do is help the group find new customers, potential for finding recruits, potential, it's going to get you closer to President's Club faster, higher sales levels, and hopefully repeat sales too, and get your name out in the community. So to me, fundraising is more about helping these organizations earn money than it is for me earning money. So if the group sells, let me just break this down for you what I mean. If the group sells $1,000 worth of product, now using these flyers that are available at youravon.com, and AVON really truly suggests that we use these flyers. They just put new ones up. The Bug Guard one is still there. That's still good for a few more campaigns, and then they'll put the new one up. So if you're doing Bug Guard, you can still use the one that's there. Don't use the Planet Spa one. That's over. I don't know why it's still there. The Lion is still good for a few more campaigns, but all the new product flyers are up too now. So let me just tell you this. If the group sells $1,000 and you've told them that they are going to earn 40% of their sales, they're going to earn $400, right? They sell $1,000, 40% of that, they've earned $400. you're keeping $100 out of that because it's 50% earnings. So the group's getting $400 and you're getting $100, and the other $500 goes to Avon to pay for the products. And if you collect sales tax, all that tax goes to Avon too. Now on these flyers is also the 75-cent order processing fee. So you want to charge that and collect that because that's going to help you pay for the materials, the flyers, the bags, and everything else too. That 75 cents is going to help you. So that's giving them 40% of the sales. Now, if you're doing this 40% of the profits, then the group sells the $1,000, $500 of that goes to Avon, then there's $500 left. 40% of the 500 is, what did I just do there? They're getting 40% of the profits. Yeah. So 40% of the 500 is $200, and you're keeping the other $3. No group wants to sell $1,000 worth of product and make $200 when some of the other fundraising companies are giving them 50% of the sales, and so that's 40% of the profits versus 40% of the sales. That's either they're making $200 or they're making $400. A group's going to go to all this trouble and do a fundraiser with you. They want to be profitable. They want to make money too. So be careful how you word that. Be careful how you do the math. And I wish that I had a big chalkboard behind me so that I could do all the math to show you this. So keep that in mind when you're presenting the fundraiser, when you're doing the fundraiser. Because again, if a group is selling, say they sell $10,000. I had a fundraiser that did $12,000 worth of product. Say they sell $10,000, they're going to earn $4,000. If you're doing 40% of the profits, they're only going to earn $2,000 out of the $10,000 that they sold. Yeah, you're going to make some money, but that's kind of not really what it's all about. So if they do $10,000 at 40% of the profits, that's what they're getting. I mean, 40% of the sales. Now I'm going to confuse everybody. If they sell $10,000 and you're giving them 40% of the sales, they're going to make $4,000. You're going to make $1,000. Okay, not bad, right? So plus, all the 75 cents that you collect from each order is going to help you pay for the bags, the supplies, and everything else. So just keep that in mind when you're presenting these fundraisers. And now these earnings charts are there at youravon.com. Can you see it? It's backwards. But there's a chart for 30%, there's a chart for 35%, and there's a chart for 40%. And these are kind of good to have. If you, Crystal wants to know about doing a fundraiser on Facebook. This is the thing, doing Rory on Facebook. These lions, the community outreach thing, normally is done, they're buying the lion and we are donating the lion to the cause, to the children's hospital, to whatever. So if you're doing that, yes, you can do it on Facebook. You can do it however you want. You can do an event for it. You collect the money, you buy the lions, and you donate them to the cause. You're going to have to collect the money from these people. Some reps actually just sell the lions outright and donate the money to the cause. In that case, you're going to have a problem doing a fundraiser on Facebook because you still have to get the product to the customer. So if you're going to do the Rory as a community outreach thing where they're just giving you the $20 for it, you're buying it and you're donating it to the children's hospital or whatever cause, yeah, you can do that on Facebook. So, so these earnings things, you need to keep this in mind when you're presenting a fundraiser already. Like, you don't really want to take all these charts to the group and say, well, you could earn 30, you could earn 35, you could earn 40%, unless you're going to do it on a scale. Now, you can say, if you sell, and it's even hard looking at these to do it that way because of the way they're done. You could say if you sell up to $1,500, you get 30%. If you sell over $1,500, you get 40%. But I would revise these things then if you're going to do that, because this is showing the sales potential all of $1,500 or more. So what you kind of need to do before you even present to the group is decide what your earnings is that you're going to be giving to the group, what their earnings is going to be. And then only present the one flyer with your presentation, if it's the 35% or if it's the 40%, as to not make it confusing. So if you're going to do the fundraiser, this all talks about finding the organization, knowing what they want, want and need. And I did break that down a lot in the one video I have, Getting the Yes. But so briefly, keeping in mind schools, not just the PTA, not just the whole school, but all the different groups and organizations in the school, the senior class, the junior class, the freshman class, the band, the cheerleaders, the track team, the chess club, whatever, the key club. There's all a whole bunch of different groups inside that school. So you might not get into the whole PTA to do a fundraiser with them, but yeah, selecting the mirror image when I print them, then it'll show up. The thing is this, I was actually going to do this tonight from the computer because then it doesn't do the mirror image. So I had already printed everything out, and then I spilled coffee on my computer, so I'm doing it from the iPad. So I didn't reprint everything. So anyway, so the churches, I talked about this too. Think about all the different groups and organizations within the church. Think about the cheerleaders, the dance teams, the competitive teams, the travel soccer teams, the Little League. There's so many different organizations and clubs and everything in your town, in your community. And you might not know these people, but ask your customers. There's there's like calendars in your local newspapers with upcoming events, spaghetti dinners, things like that. If those groups are having spaghetti dinners, they're looking for fun. They're looking for money. They're raising funds. You can approach them with a fundraiser. And I'm going to show you a little bit about the presentation packets, because I used to carry these around with me. If I would see a car wash, if I would see a bake sale, if I would see them standing outside with their containers collecting money, which really drives me crazy. I'm all about a fundraiser, but you need to, there's such value in learning how to sell something and manage that and to like work a little bit for the money instead of, to me, it's like teaching them to panhandle when they stand out there with their buckets and just ask for donations and stuff. To me, that's like teaching them how to panhandle and how to just beg on the streets. I don't know. I just have this real big disconnect with that. But I do give them the presentation packet. And there's a couple ways you can do it. You can buy the pocket folders, and you can print out a couple of the fundraising flyers and the earnings chart. And at youravon.com, there's some letters that actually introduce AVON Fundraising. And I pulled one up here. I didn't print it, but I pulled this one up. And this is a sample letter, and you're just going to change this up to suit you. Thank you for your interest in AVON Fundraising. Enclosed, you will find several examples of a single-page AVON Fundraising flyer. These flyers have been successful to raise money by organizations just like yours. In addition, I have included an organizational proceeds opportunity chart, which is the earnings chart. And if you're interested in offering prizes for the largest order, I can show you a selection of inexpensive AVON products, or you can contact local merchants for donations. There's like a lot of really good information in these things. There's included information on sales tax exempt status. If your organization is tax exempt, it's a great incentive. So again, we have agreement forms in there. We have contracts, the contact timeline, the tax exemption fundraising guidelines. All of this is there at youravon.com. And you need to look this over, and you need to figure out what you're going to do. Don't like say, oh, I have a fundraiser, and then come to me and go, Theresa, I have a fundraiser. What am I going to do? Like, you should have all looked at this beforehand. So in the presentation packet, and I was doing them just in these little 6x9 envelopes. I was putting my information on the outside as well. Inside was the business card. All of these, make sure your information is on each of these things. Either stamp it on or put your label on it or write it on. A couple of the flyers, the earnings chart, you know, the tax exempt. I don't give them too much information to start, but just ideas of what they can do. And the other thing I always include is an AVON brochure. Because I do full brochure fundraisers, AVON discourages that because of the product availability and everything. And it's more of a challenge to figure out the earnings. It's not impossible. But you never know who's going to get your packet and who might say, oh, I love AVON. I'm not doing a fundraiser, but I need to buy AVON. And then they're going to contact me too. So I always put that all fits in the 6x9 envelope. Or like I said, you can put it in a folder. I've done it in the pocket folders too. So put that, and then carry those around with you. If you're actively looking for fundraisers, carry those around with you. When you see groups, when you're talking to a customer, you know, she's asking you if you want to buy candy bars for her son's school or whatever, say, oh yeah. And then either if she's involved in the school and involved in the fundraising, find out, you know, talk to her, see how involved she is. If she's friends with the fundraising chairperson, you can ask her to hand that packet to the person. Or you can ask for you can show it to her, you can get the contact information, you can follow up, whatever. But keep these around, like hand them out the same way you hand out brochures or recruiting flyers or whatever. The more of these you hand out, the more potential you're going to have to book an AVON fundraiser. The same way the more brochures you hand out, the more potential you have for customers. The more recruiting flyers and business cards and everything else you hand out, the more potential you have for customers and new recruits. So do this. Where do you find pocket folders to purchase? Usually it's Staples or Walmart or whatever. Just the folder that opens up. It's got little pockets inside and you can put stuff in. You can put something on the outside, make it pink, say AVON if you want. You know, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be stamped with AVON Fundraising. You can make a label yourself that says AVON Fundraising and put it on, you know, do the business card size labels and make it yourself that says AVON Fundraising to put on the front of it if you want to do something like that on the pocket folders. But it doesn't, like I said, have to be anything fancy. You can make the label and put it on yourself. So do these presentation packets, take them around to the schools or look online. Sometimes the schools have a website and it'll tell you who the class advisors are for different things or who's in charge of the booster club or who's in charge of whatever. And then you can go directly to that person. Or if you're going to drop it off at the school, you make sure it's addressed to 8th grade class advisor. And then when you drop it off at the school, you can ask, who is the 8th grade class advisor, so you can follow up. Okay? A lot of schools, it's hard to get into. You can't just walk randomly into the school down the street and walk in and say, oh, I want to drop this off in the office. You've got to get past security first. So you better know somebody there. You better have kids in that school. Or I don't know about you guys, but it's really tough to get into some of the schools around here. Or you can mail it to the school and you know, attention 8th grade class advisor if you know who you're going to be following up with too. And sometimes their email addresses are on the websites too. You have to do a little bit of research. It's a little bit of work looking for some of this stuff. But it's not that hard to, if you really, really, really want to do AVON fundraising, you're going to prepare yourself, you're going to look at this, you're going to get yourself together, you're going to get the packets together, and you're going to say, this week I'm handing out 10 packets for fundraisers. And make sure you've got 10 names and 10 people to follow up with. So if I go up to the bake sale, I don't just walk up to the kids and hand it to whoever's sitting there selling cupcakes. I ask them who's in charge of fundraising for your group, and I talk to the people that are there, and whoever I give it to, I get their name and number so that I can follow up with them. And even if they're not the one in charge, I still get their name and number, and I ask them, who is it with the group that I talked to about fundraising? And then I can go to that person too. But I want a couple means of connection there, because if I don't get in touch with the other person, I can go to the person that I gave it to and say, hey, were you able to give this to the person, whoever it is that's in charge of blah, blah, blah. So your little notebook, your little pen, your little paper, your phone, however you keep track of everything. What else? So the earnings chart. Okay, so this is the other thing. Everybody wants to do online fundraising, and I talk about that I do online fundraising. So you've got all this information, and you're going to do a fundraiser. Sometimes they're going to ask you, can we do it online? This is the deal. Right now, currently, AVON does not have online fundraising. That doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means AVON doesn't have online fundraising. So these flyers cannot be purchased. Those products cannot be purchased online. What I do, though, is I do a cover letter. When I put, okay, so I got 50 kids, 150 kids actually right now. I'm doing a Campaign 9 Mother's Day fundraiser with a school. And I've been working with this school for years, so it's all good. There might be a few items that are going to be back ordered in here or short. I hope not, but it's a possibility and they know that. It's okay. But what I do is I do a cover letter. So they get the brochure, and I had that order book here, and I don't know what I did with it. My day just got all goofy. So they get the brochure. I put a regular order book in here. I print my collection envelopes. I print them on the 6x9. I do a grid, and I print my own collection envelopes just because it's cheaper than buying them or having somebody else print them for me. So the collection envelope goes in here, the order book, it says AVON Fundraising across the top. Those get stuck inside the What's New bag, and there's a cover letter that goes with it on the back that says, welcome to AVON Fundraising, it's time for our spring fundraiser again, blah, blah, blah. Tells them the dates that I want everything turned in, who to make the checks payable to, add the sales tax, don't add the sales tax, add the 75 cents, blah, blah, blah. It's all broken down on that. What I also include on that cover letter and on the label that goes on the back of the brochures too. Do I have those labels with me? No, I gave them to the school. They're working on them. But this is what it says. Now you can shop online. This is on the cover letter that goes in there with them. And it says shop online at youravon.com/tpaul. You and your faraway friends and family can shop now too. Browse the catalog and specials, make your order online, pay with a credit debit card. AVON will ship the products directly to you, or you can have it shipped anywhere in the U.S. And it also says, please email your order confirmation number to me, and it's got my email address. So it also says products and prices may vary when shopping online due to the timing of the campaigns. So because right now they're going to start selling out of the Campaign 9 brochure, but Campaign 9 is not available online yet. So I put the dates that the Campaign 9 brochure is going to be available online in case there's something in here that they want that's not online yet. They can wait to that date to go online and shop. A little complicated, yes, but I get a lot of sales from this online stuff too, okay? Because they're sharing with their friends and family and people that aren't around, or even some of them, the parents will do it themselves. They'll shop online and they don't have to send the packet back into the school with the money, and then they don't have to have the products brought home from school later when they come in. They just shop online, it gets shipped directly to them. Now the thing with this, you have to keep in mind, is they're not going to earn 50%. Well, we don't earn 50%. The fundraising flyers, you earn 50%. Online sales, we earn whatever it is our campaign sales are. Normally, I'm at 45% to 50% anyway because of my personal sales. When I have a fundraiser, that bumps me up. I'm at 50% sales. So I can still offer them 40%. Now, if you're doing these flyers, you can do the same thing. On the cover letter that you put, you can say if you want to share the fundraiser with friends and family near and far, they can shop the full line of products on my website, and you give them the website. And the same thing, you can ask them to email the confirmation number to you. Now, if you're not always at the 50% level, if you are usually only at 20 or 30%, you can tell them that the online sale, like tell them you're giving them 40%, say you're giving them 40% on this, but you're not sure you're going to be at 40% earnings for the whole thing. You can tell them that they can share the website and that you'll give them 20% of whatever the sales are that they get online. You can decide that ahead of time. And most of the groups are going to be okay with that because it's less work. They don't have to do anything if it's just online. They're still making the money. They just have to share the website. Am I losing you guys? Are you following me here? I can't read the, if there's any comments. So that's how I do it. And on my youravon.com/tpaul, my landing page, there's a welcome message that says, if you're shopping for a fundraiser, contact me with your order confirmation number. They can click at the top of the screen, contact me, and send me their order confirmation number and what group that they're fundraising with. Because sometimes I do more than one fundraiser at a time. The other thing is this, and I know some representatives do this, and I've seen it put out there, is you can ask them when they register on the website to use the code as part of their name. So if you're doing it for Chester High School, you can tell them use CHS as part of their name. So it would be Mary Smith, but she would register as Mary CHS Smith, so that when that order comes through, you see Mary CHS Smith, you know that order right there goes to Chester High School. And the earnings from that order go to that, then you don't have to look for an email or confirmation number. So those are the two different ways you can do it online, whichever works easier for you. I just keep doing the confirmation number because I've been doing some of these fundraisers with some of these groups for years, and these people are already registered on my website and they've shopped previously. And so if they just go back in and shop, that order is going to come through. I'm not going to know that they're not going to re-register, to put a CHS in their name. So I don't ask them to do that. But whatever you think is easier for you, or that is easier for you to explain to your customers, or not to your customers, to whoever's doing the selling with the group. But that's how you can tie in the AVON fundraising online with your in-person fundraisers. So if you've got the cheerleaders selling these flyers, but you want to share the online store, just put that message in the cover letter. And then how do you want them either to register with the code, CHS cheerleading hot shots or whatever the code means, or to email the confirmation number to you. Now, if I'm doing a fundraiser and I have a new customer register that I don't know if this customer is one of my new customers or if they're shopping for a fundraiser, I will contact that customer and ask them, I see you placed an order. Thank you for shopping my e-store. Was that order in support of one of the fundraisers that I'm working with? And if they email me back and say yes, of course, then that group gets the credit for the order. Or I call and ask them, either way, whatever. But that's how I do it. And so it's a little bit more work, because so then every time an order comes through from the online fundraiser that they've sent me the confirmation, you can go in there in the web office, click on, the direct delivery orders, you see everything there. I print that order out, and that goes in the pile with those fundraising things. So you can look at that invoice and know if it's all full earnings items they ordered, or if it's fixed earnings. If it's the home items or clothing, then it's a fixed earnings item, and you're only earning 20 or 25%, depending on if you're a regular, if you're President's Club or not. So keep that in mind too with the earnings, how you're going to do that too. So, because you don't want to shortchange yourself and tell them they're getting 40% of everything online, and then have that order come through when it was all clothes, and you're only giving them 20%. So you've got to keep all this in mind. It's a little bit more work. It's a little bit more paperwork. It's a little bit more math. But I can do a fundraiser sometimes that will sell maybe $600. I live in a small town, small community, small classes, small groups. That'll do $600 in personal sales, but they'll have $300 in online sales. So that's extra sales the group wouldn't have received. And the other thing is this. A lot of times, these people make repeat purchases on my website. So if they need more, they come back through my website. Now, when I package a fundraiser order, I do put the next brochure in so that everyone that purchased from me does have a brochure for future orders. But that brochure might not always be laying around. It might get thrown in the garbage. They're not going to know where it is. But since they've registered on my website, they're going to get the marketing emails from me, and sometimes they even get put on my brochure mailing list. Oh, actually, I ask them. I don't automatically do that. I do ask them do you have someone you purchase Avon from? Would you like to receive a brochure? These are the ones that have shopped online. So some of them I do send brochures to. But I do have a lot of online repeat sales from people that originally just shopped with the fundraiser. So that's why I've really been a little bit crazy almost about trying to get Avon set up with us with the online fundraising. And they are working on it. There is stuff they're looking at. It's not going to be ready anytime soon. We're hoping, I'm going to say by fourth quarter 2018. Maybe not, might be not till 2019. There's a lot of other stuff. They're really doing a lot of stuff for the websites for us. I saw a few things the other day. A lot of new things now that we're on the new platform and they can change up the websites. A lot of really good stuff that you guys will love. And some of you guys are on some focus groups that have seen this, or will be on some focus groups that will be seeing this because they're doing a little tour around the country. I don't know how many where and stuff, but it's coming this summer, new stuff on youravon.com, just not the fundraising stuff yet. See the sippy cup? I need to drink coffee in a sippy cup so it doesn't get spilled on my computer. Even though I like my coffee in a big girl cup. I need it in a sippy cup. So now my computer's at Best Buy for 2 weeks. Let's see how that goes if I don't have a nervous breakdown without my computer. So I know that there's probably a million more questions that you have about fundraising. I know people ask me, especially now, like there's a lot of prepay or reps that don't have credit, or if you go over your credit limit. I usually, because I've been doing this for so long, don't have a problem with that. They make the checks out to the school because I don't want to deal with any bounced checks. I take the products to the school, they give me the check, we're done, we're good. You know, they've given me the orders already, I do that. To make sure that doesn't happen, that you don't have, in case you have to prepay, you can ask that everything be made out to you. So that when you pick up the orders from the organization, you've got all the money right there. That way, when you place the order, you can make the deposit. Now, you're going to take those checks to the bank right away and deposit them into your AVON account because you want time for those checks to clear in case there's a problem. You're going to deliver the orders and you got a bounce check over here. You know, you want to prevent that. Some only ask strictly for cash. They don't want to take checks. Some reps don't want to deal with the checks. If you're doing this, one thing, I like the stuff made out to the group. If they give me a whole bunch of orders and all the money in there, I would like to sit with somebody from the group, whoever their chairperson is, and open the envelopes and count the money and make sure that the money in the envelope matches the orders that it says to, because I don't want to have a problem. Oh, this one was $20 short. How do you prove that? So if I have someone from the group sitting there with me, it's I'm more comfortable that way too. So when you're setting up the fundraiser, of course, with the group, you ask for a designated chairperson, your contact person, who's going to, you're going to be going back and forth with to drop off the packets, you know, the fundraising packets with the flyers and everything, who's going to distribute them, who's going to collect them when they come back in, who's going to total them up. Now, some of them will total up everything, and I talked to some of the reps that do the fundraising. They ask the group to go through all the flyers and they total everything up. They give you one flyer back that just says, we want 50 of these, 50 of these, 50 of these. You place the order, you give them back that with all those, they bag the stuff up themselves. I've never done it that way because there's too many products. They'll mix them up, especially the makeup. They'll get the wrong mascara, they'll get the wrong, like we know our products. Call me a control freak, but I want everything done as close to perfect as possible. So by the time the customer gets their product, everything they ordered is in there. They're not coming back going, oh, I wanted the brown mascara, I got the black one or whatever. So that's why I bag everything up and I do all that. But that's up to you. There's a million different ways you can do this. This is just what I do and I found best for me. to prevent any problems or confusion. Now, I can't see on here if there's comments. Yeah, you can use a Square. So the credit card payments, this is what I tell them. If they want to use a credit card, they can shop online. Oh, I don't have the cover letter with me. I didn't print that. The one that I give to the groups with the stuff. I tell them if they want to use the credit card, they can shop online. But if you're because again, I do full brochure mostly. If you're just doing this, you can tell them, call me if you want to make a credit card payment. So then you can take the Square over the phone. It's just hard when somebody's out selling this and they're taking orders on the back, how do they, to deal with the credit card stuff? That's up to you, how you want to deal with that. If you want to take, Square is good if you want to deal with that. I have taken credit card payments over the phone. They just give me their name over the phone. They give me their name, the total of their order. I take all the information down, and then when the orders come back to me, I look for their order in the thing. It's because in my envelope, it's got the student's name on the top of it. So if I've got the credit card payment from Mary Smith and her student was Johnny, I find Johnny's envelope, I look at the money, okay, there's the credit card payment, it matches up, I process it that way. So yes, you can. Well, Christy, yeah, you can. When I had him help me bag, it was just too much. I prefer to do it all myself. It was too much. By the time, it was this huge fundraiser. By the time we were done, there were 2 boxes of products left over. We had to go through all these bags trying to figure out who didn't get this, who got that, who needed an extra hand cream. I do it myself. I know it's done a little closer to right. So yeah, Julie, so you can sit down with the contact person if you want to total up all the orders while you're there. That's why I didn't continue with that. Yeah. If you want to total up all the orders that are there with the contact person and say, okay, you guys sold $1,000. Your cut is going to be 40% of that. So you get to keep $4,000. This is the difference that I need to go to pay Avon and stuff. And you could do that right then and there. They keep their money, they give you yours, you've got the money to pay Avon. So yes, you can absolutely do it that way. And it's probably the best way to do it, really, if you can sit with them. If you're doing the full brochure fundraiser, it's going to be a little more complicated than that with the money and the earnings and the fixed earnings and everything else. But if you're doing these flyers, it's all flat 40% of whatever you sell. They sell $958. You take that calculator, you go 958 times 40%. You guys just earned, it's a little bit less than $4,000, whatever, a little bit less than $400. So, but then you could say, okay, this is your profit. The rest is mine. I'm taking this. We're going to go pay Avon, and then I'll bring you your products in 2 weeks. And that's the timing thing. So in here, we have the agreement forms and, oops, I'm spinning the phone over here, the contact timeline. And 2 things that are really important that I've learned over the years. If my order is due to submit to Avon on Sunday, or I want to submit this order to Avon on Sunday, I tell the group I want these orders Monday, the week before, the Monday before. Because there's going to be some hang up, or the group's going to be, oh, I didn't total everything up yet. Can I get them to you tomorrow? Or 3 other people didn't turn them in yet. That gives me time for all of that. It gives me time to consolidate everything, to enter everything on youravon.com, and to get everything ready to be submitted. If there's checks that need to go to the bank or whatever, it gives you time to do all that. So definitely leave yourself time. Don't say, oh, I'll pick up the orders Thursday because I'm submitting them Friday. You're going to be driving yourself crazy trying to get it all entered, ordered, counted right, tallied up, and everything else. The other thing is, if you get your deliveries on Wednesday, don't tell the group, I'll drop the stuff off on Thursday, or I'll drop it off on Friday. I tell them I'm going to bring it the following week. So I know when my delivery is going to come. I tell them I'll have the orders to you the week of blah, 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 and then I will call and actually set a date with them when I'm going to deliver it, because over the years there's been things like the truck broke down and my order didn't come to me, or there was a box missing, so I had products that weren't there yet, I had to wait. I give myself time to bag everything up. I'm not gonna, oh my God, the stuff just came and now I need to bag it. Oh, but this dog is sick and I can't do it. I give time for error. I give time for whatever. So I'm not rushed. I'm not crazy. Some people are like, I just want it bagged up. I want it out of my house, whatever. That's fine. You bag it up. You let it sit there over the weekend. You deliver it to them on Monday. But don't do it on such a time thing that, oh yeah, we got plenty of time. Mother's Day is the second Sunday in May, so if I submit this order the first Sunday in May, I'll get it back that Wednesday and I'll get it to the school by Friday so that they can deliver. You're going to make yourself crazy, and then if it goes wrong or something isn't right or the truck didn't get to you on time or there was a nor'easter again in the beginning of May and you didn't get the stuff, then they didn't, so give yourself time. I'm doing this Mother's Day fundraiser with this brochure. Those packets are going out this week. The kids are out of school next week because they get the week before Easter off. So I want the packets going out this week. They're going to sell. I'm going to Orlando on the PRP trip. I'll be back, what is it? I don't know when we're coming back. April 12th, the PRPC, the AVON recognition trip. I'm going to be back on the 12th. I told her I'll pick up the orders. I told them to have them back to the school at the 13th. I'm picking them up from her on the 15th or whatever. That's still plenty of time before Mother's Day. I'll consolidate the orders. I'll enter them. I'll submit them. I'll get them back. And I'll get those to her before I go on that Bermuda cruise on the 29th. I have 2 weeks in there to get this fundraising stuff entered and back to me and delivered to them before Mother's Day. Then if there's anything back ordered, by the time I get back from the cruise, if anything comes in late, then I'll take them over and drop them off at the school too. But that's still time for them then to distribute them to the families and all that. So I kind of give it, it really, did I lose you guys? I don't even think anyone's watching me still. I'm just over here babbling away. Let me see. I wanted to see if there was any questions here. Julie had the question about the contact person and the products and the taxes and everything. Yes, you can use the Square, PayPal. Gonna make the fundraising packets. Love that idea. Good, Phyllis. The Theresa Paul. Stuff I learned over the years, stuff I made up, stuff I took that I learned from other reps and, kind of worked it into what I do. There's nobody on my call tonight. Why is that? You know why there's nobody on tonight? I can't even believe it. I didn't even put the event up until yesterday. Completely forgot that it was my Tuesday week. I don't know what I was doing. There's been a lot going on around me. But it's here and it's going to be recorded and I'm just going to share it everywhere. So even if you guys aren't on tonight, you'll be watching it later. What else? Okay, I think that's all. The horse picture. Kim loves the horse picture. Oh, the loud noise. You know what it is. Sorry. My oil burner. It's cold out. My oil burner. My heater keeps coming on. I should have probably closed that door. This iPad picks up all the sounds. The horse picture. My husband. It's kind of funny. There's two of them, and they're both the same picture. When we were in North Carolina, he found. We like this little antique store, and he found one picture one year, and then the next year we went back and he found a bigger picture. He was like, "Oh, check that out!" So we bought the other one too. Same picture. Kind of funny. Hi, Charlinia. Carrie, you missed half the call. You'll have to watch it later. It's all good stuff. So anyway, I'm sure you guys will have more questions. Post them in the Tuesdays with Theresa group or the AVON Reps fundraising group, and we will try to answer them for you. I hope that helped alleviate some of the mystery or the fear that you have of, I want to do it. How do I do it online? Can I do it online? You really can. I have been. I can't wait for AVON to give us online stuff. I think they're trying to overcomplicate it. I keep it simple. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, go to youravon.com. Look at the stuff. If it seems overwhelming looking at it online, just print it out. Then you can look at it. Then you can kind of decipher it. Then you can process it in your head. You can lay the stuff out and say, okay, this is what I want to put in the packets. Make little labels or flyers or print little labels or print on your envelopes or print, whatever that you want to stick on here. that says AVON Fundraising, something catchy with, make sure your contact information is on everything. And I hope that you guys go out and do a fundraiser. Don't be afraid, and don't think that they only have to be done during the holidays. Groups, like right now, probably already have their holiday fundraiser set up for next year. But we can do fundraisers. I do them for Mother's Day. I do them for Father's Day. Not that we have any men's products here, but I've done the brochure for Father's Day. You've got the Little League. We've got the Bug Guard flyers. And don't just think that, oh, it's the Little League, it's the boys, we can only give them the Bug Guard flyer, because those boys aren't really the ones that are selling that. You know those packets are going home and they're going to the moms, right? Moms are going to want the face cream, moms are going to want the makeup, the body lotion, the Skin So Soft, whatever. So don't just think because it's boys, you can't put this other stuff in there for the Little League or for the basketball teams or the soccer teams or whatever. Like, think about everybody that they know. They're going to go to their aunt and say, Auntie, do you want to support me with my fundraiser? Auntie might need more than just Bug Guard. Auntie might need face cream and mascara and eyeshadow and whatever else. So don't limit yourself to what flyers that you're going to use or can use. The other thing is this. You can get the flyers printed at Town & Country. I print them myself. Now I'm going to show you this. You can't really see it so good. Kind of, sort of. But look at the color. I printed this on my printer, and I did it with the ink. When you can go in your printer settings, and I did that on draft color. It doesn't use as much ink. If I did it full color, it would be more vivid colors, but that's still a pretty good flyer in color. They get the idea of what they're buying. You can do that. You can print the order form on the back. The thing is though, this is thin paper and you can kind of see through it. Let's see, I didn't do it that close. Oh, you can kind of see through it. See, oh look, it almost looks like you can read it. But I bought a ream of heavier paper. It's not that expensive, and it was still cheaper for me to print some of these flyers that I was doing than it was to buy them at Town & Country. So if you use the ink on it, and then when you print the back of it, and the order part of it, you can even do that in black and white if you want. However, some of them are color coded. Like on the back, it's red where it lists these products. So you've got the red one, the purple, the colors match whatever product kind of thing that you're buying. So that's kind of cool. So it's easier to line it up. But you don't have to do that. But that's just what I do, especially if you've got 350 kids. That's a lot of flyers to buy. So to me, it was cheaper to buy the ink and the paper and print them. It's up to you how you want to do it, what you want to do. Let me see if there's any more questions, and then I'm kissing y'all goodbye. So if Rory is $20, you charge $20 plus the sales tax plus the 75 cents, yes. Unless the group that you're fundraising with or for is sales tax exempt and they can produce the documents that you need, and I always tell you to ask for these documents before you start the fundraiser, because I had some cheerleaders once that told me they were tax exempt and they were not, and we didn't charge the sales tax and it came out of their profits. So on the YourAvon.com, in the fundraising section, is the tax exempt guidelines for AVON fundraising. See if I hold it up this way, tax exemption guide. It shows you. It's this, it's backwards. And then it tells you exactly what you need. To be tax exempt. And on this is also the fundraising hotline phone number. There's an email address to email the tax documents to. There's a fax number to fax them to. So if you have questions about this tax exempt stuff, contact the AVON fundraising desk to be sure, because they've changed some of the stuff over the years, and I don't want to give you the wrong information. It's all right here, and you can call them. They're really good about answering these questions. So going to the library to do copies, and it prints on both sides. Can you do full color, Patty? And do they charge you? And is it like you can only do 10 at a time? So I was going to have them printed one time at Staples. Oh my gosh, that's what made me decide to buy the ink. When I went to Staples, it was going to cost, because it was double-sided, full color, and on the heavier paper. And it was going to cost me so much that that's why I said, let me just buy an extra packet of ink and the ream of paper, and I did it myself. So, and it was cheaper. 10 cents per copy? Do they, is there a limit? Like you can't go in and do 350 copies, or? So yeah, so keep all that in mind. Anyway, I'm done here. I've been talking for, oh my gosh, it's almost 8 o'clock. I've been talking for an hour, and there's so much more. I could do 5 hours of just fundraising and not cover everything. There's so much that I could share with you about doing this, but I don't want you guys to be afraid to do a fundraiser. I don't want it to be overwhelming. I know people are like, Theresa, tell me, I want to do a fundraiser. Tell me what I have to do. This is what you have to do. You have to go to your avon.com. You have to read all the stuff. Then you have to go watch my videos. Then if you have any questions, then come ask me anything specific, but that's what I tell everybody. Did you break it? Not yet. Scared me. Scared me. All right. So anyway, I am going to kiss everybody goodnight, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for joining me. Let's see if I can do this. Finish. Did it stop? No, what happened? Finish. Okay, now I'm just going to sit here and keep